What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anthony's Takes. Right now, I'm going to give you my movie review for War of the Planet of the Apes. I just got home a little while ago, took the family out to the movies. Santino, he liked it. I loved it. Started off a bit slow, but as the story progressed, there was a twist that definitely saved it for, for me, definitely. I'm not gonna talk spoilers. I'll let you guys know when I'm gonna talk spoilers. Then I'll let you guys know to turn it off if you haven't seen it. But as for simple review, yeah, it was a great cast. I love Woody Harrelson. What he lent to the character, but in the spoilers I'll talk about what happened towards the end, to where I don't know, I had mixed feelings about what happens to his character. But yeah, going into it, I love the first two, Planet of the Apes. As a kid, I wasn't really into that much of the old Planet of the Apes movies. I remember trying to sit down and watch one, and it's just, it just didn't grab my attention, the way other movies would when I was a kid. But as I got older, I just, never got into it. I could never get past the terrible costumes that they wore, the monkey costumes that they put on to make those movies. And even that one with Mark Wahlberg that came out probably, what, 10 years ago probably. But these movies, I liked a lot. I happen to like them a lot. The one with James Franco, the one that came out afterwards. It seems like every movie has a different human cast, aside from Andy Serkis, who's done the great work he does with Caesar, and as well as the other actors that portray the apes, that are all motion capture actors. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a solid 4 out of 5. Oh hell yes! Man, it was the action was great. I would have to say it definitely caps off the trilogy and definitely did a good job of closing out the trilogy. I remember hearing somewhere, I didn't pay much attention to it, saying that there might be another one that they're making, but the way it ended, I don't see another one coming. Just because, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I just don't see another movie being made without a certain character. So, alright, so now that you got my review, let's go ahead and talk spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, I recommend you go see it in a movie theater. It's worth the price of admission. It's definitely worth it. If you've seen the first two, definitely go check it out. You won't be disappointed. It's, when you get trilogies, it's hard to, top each movie with each one that comes out. But this one, it was a really good third act to close out the trilogy. And it's very rare that you find a movie franchise that can do that. But yeah, let's talk spoilers, man. Man, I absolutely loved how opening up, Caesar is still having nightmares of Koba. Koba was the ape that pretty much betrayed him in the dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and what was it? Killed some apes and blamed it on the humans. Killed some humans, blamed it on the apes, just to start a war. And that's what started everything. And so the soldiers in this movie are still, after their retaliation of that. And Caesar ends up having to pay the price for what Koba fucked up, trying to have peace between the apes and the humans. But yeah, Woody Harrelson, the Colonel. Woody Harrelson, the Colonel, he basically just drops in on Caesar and the camp of apes and just single-handedly kills Caesar's wife, his son, and yeah, that's when Caesar, all pun intended, goes ape shit. And he wants to take him down himself. So he ends up leaving his village of apes, and three of the other strong, you know, captains of the ape squad, what the fuck, they follow him, and because they don't want him to go alone, even though, you know, Caesar was pretty much on a suicide mission. So you know, so they follow him in, and they come across this little girl who, for some reason, you don't know why. I assume that, okay, she was born into the world of where, you know, the apes have already taken over, so she doesn't speak, she doesn't talk. But then I started to think to myself, like, how is that even possible? Like, that's not possible. And when they came across, she was with a human dude, and the apes ended up killing him in self-defense. So, but, you know, they ended up taking her in, and then, man, that's one hell of a plot twist, to where the virus that made the apes intelligent and started having the ability to speak, and also at the same time started to kill humans, ends up starting to take away speech and critical thinking from humans. So it's pretty much turning the apes smart and strong, and turning humans primitive, and, you know, basically making the apes and the humans reverse roles, so to speak. So that was some crazy shit to think about. Like, wow. So I guess there were, you know, a couple of humans. The girl happened to be one of them, and then for some reason when they were following the troops back to their camp, for some reason they just stopped. The whole cavalry stopped, and then, you know, you hear gunshots, and Caesar wasn't too sure what they were shooting at. And so you see 3 human bodies laying in the snow, and one of them happens to still be alive, and he's trying to talk to him, but the guy's not talking. So you know, it's later on revealed that, you know, when Woody Harrelson is telling Caesar why he's doing what he's doing is because of how his own son suffered from that disease, to where he lost the ability to speak and became really primitive, and he ended up shooting his own son in the head. So in the whole time, towards the middle, Woody Harrelson is using the apes to build a wall for some reason. Like, and, you know, they're wondering why they're building a wall. And there's these troops that are coming from the north. The apes were, you know, under the impression that they're coming to help Woody Harrelson's cavalry of wiping out the apes. But no, those troops were actually coming to go against Woody Harrelson and his soldiers. So I don't know if they're, you know, different factions of the U.S. Army going up against each other. So, but those troops were coming to lay out Woody Harrelson's soldiers and the apes that were, you know, in his camp that he was holding hostage and using as slaves, basically, as a labor force. But towards the end, man, I couldn't believe it. Like, for some reason, when the troops come, Woody Harrelson's character is nowhere to be seen. The colonel, he's just, you know, and Caesar, he goes up to, you know, the little tower where Woody Harrelson was staying, and damn, Woody Harrelson, his character, the colonel, and damn, the colonel himself got plagued by that damn virus. And what I think it was transferred to him through the little doll that the girl was carrying around the whole time. Woody Harrelson picks it up in one of the monkey's cages and was wondering, you know, how did this get here? You know, when she was trying to sneak in and just get close to Caesar somehow. And yeah, he picked it up, and you could see that it had like a little stain of blood, dry blood on it, you know. So I don't know, that him touching that, he got infected with that shit, that virus. Well, as it is that all the humans are already infected with it anyway, but for some people it's just triggered more than others, and then that's what makes them go primitive and lose the ability to speak and to think and, you know, higher thinking. And so he ends up not even being in the final battle because he was bedridden. Like, Caesar comes up on him and he's laying in the bed trying to reach for a bottle of whiskey, and, you know, Caesar ends up not even pulling the trigger. The colonel pretty much blows his own head off because of he was still coherent enough to realize he wasn't able to speak. He was going through what he hated the most, and just that was some crazy shit. And man, yeah, the ending battle, and then for some, you know, most of the battle was done, you know, with the bridge and the helicopters, but then for some reason, whenever all that was done, then that's when all the soldiers on foot come in. Like, what the fuck? Why would you send them in? And then once they figure out, you know, oh, the war is won, we won, an avalanche comes because of the explosions that took place, and pretty much wipe out all of those soldiers. So both armies all gone. That was very convenient, I must say, for that to happen. Because I was wondering, like, holy shit, what the fuck? Like, because Caesar was just standing there, and all of the soldiers, one by one, just turned around and saw an ape standing there all by himself, and there was a couple of them drawing their guns, and they were about to shoot, but then here comes that avalanche, wiped them all out. That was some crazy shit. Man, that final scene, it could have been a little more emotional, but for what it was pretty sad to see Caesar die like that. And he died from a wound from the that one soldier that was in the whole movie that played a very significant part. He was the one that Caesar let go. He let survive to send a message to the colonel. We don't want any more death, no war, anything. But they took that shit for granted, and Woody Harrelson still came and attacked, and shit just started to escalate, and lo and behold, that dude's arrow also killed Caesar. So Caesar, in a way, met his own doom because of his sympathy that he had towards the humans. So gave them a chance, and he ends up, you know, but it was a very played out, and, you know, because it was a very long death that he had, because after the whole fact of the battle, they hike all the way up to, you know, they get out of the snow, and there's somewhere where there's, you know, green grass everywhere. I'm not sure how long, it didn't specify in the movie, like, how long or where they actually hike to, but then that's when Caesar, you know, shows the other monkey his wound right here with the arrow sticking out that he broke off. Apes are strong with or without me, you know. And then the other ape is telling him his son will know everything he did for the apes. And then he just slowly just lays down out of the picture frame. And yeah, that was pretty sad. Man. So, hopefully I kept this movie review short and sweet. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share if you like my movie review. Comment down below if you've seen it. What do you think? Do you think there's another one coming after Caesar dying? Do you think there's... I don't think after Caesar dying you can make another Planet of the Apes movie. You know, yeah, it's a great way to end it. You know, I wouldn't... Don't be like the Transformers franchise and try to stick Mark Wahlberg in a damn fourth movie to try to bring everyone back to the movie theater, but hey. So, if you did not like this movie review, eat a dick.